Go for it.
All right. Okay. Well, I'll just start off with materials for a little bit so you know what I'm painting with. Unfortunately, I was set up really well this morning, but, I've had to just change it all. So what I've got is I've got a hake, just a 1/2 and 1 inch hake. That's all you need for your background, or a 1 inch, doesn't matter. Then for a street scene, these nylon brushes, see these little nylon brushes, really useful. Then I've got another brush that's a bit of it's a bit of a mock brush. It comes to a point. And then I've got a brush, a nice Chinese brush, as you can see, which is for calligraphy. So really, just those brushes, that's all I've got. Then I've got obviously a little water bottle. Then I've got water. Well, you don't have to look at the water. And then I'll show you my palette, okay? I'll show you my palette. I've got blue, ultra. That's, believe it or not, is supposed to be burnt sienna, but it looks more like raw umber. So never worry about colour. Never, because all the colours, I tell students, do not worry about colour. The colour is the last thing you need to worry about, particularly in watercolour. You don't worry about it. Then I've got an alizarin. Then I've got a raw sienna, a bit of viridian. I don't know what that is. I just squirted that out this morning. It's some dark purpley colour, but I've got so much of it given to me, so I thought I'll put it in. Then I've got a brighter yellow, a cad yellow, and don't ask me what that is. It's like an opaque cobalty blue, cerulean cobalty blue. So that's all I've got. Palette, mix it on there. So that's really about it, okay? So I'm sorry you can't see me. I'll try and get in front of the camera if I can. So I'll see if I can get in front of the camera. So actually, maybe if I get here, can you see me here? There we are. There you can sort of see me. All right. So normally I don't paint vertically. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah. Is that all right, guys? Is that better? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can.
Yeah. Normally I don't paint vertically. It's just that I had it all set up beautifully this morning. It was working perfectly. And then for some reason I can't get my other device on. So I'm filming it with my iPad. So unfortunately it's the best I can do. Normally I don't paint vertically, but sometimes I do if I'm painting outside and if the sun's on there. The last thing I want on my paper is sun. So I'm painting vertically, so it's going to be a bit of a challenge, but anyhow, it's the way it goes. So we'll start off, and also I'm using my phone as my imagery, unfortunately, because I can't get my iPad to work. So we'll start, and the way I'll start is I had a pencil here 2 seconds ago, and where has that pencil gone? It's gone somewhere. I don't know where that pencil's gone. I had it 20 seconds ago. I must be before I moved everything. Oh, well, not to worry. I don't have a pencil. So I'll be drawing it in with a brush. Oh, there's my pencil. It's on the floor, on the ground. All right. So if you've got any questions, just fire away, okay? So this is a New York street scene. The first thing I have to do is find out my focal point and also your perspective. So my perspective is about there. This is my vanishing point. Try to keep your vanishing point below halfway, right? So what I tend to do is just a set of spokes radiating out. Makes it so easy. Just these spokes radiating out. Just with a pencil, really, yeah. What I might do is I might actually draw it with a brush so you can actually see what I'm doing. Boy, I've never worked off a phone before. It's so small. Often students do it. And how does that come up on? Yeah, that comes up better, right? So there, maybe a bit of a building there. And what I'm using is a dagger liner. They're very useful. See these little dagger liners? Right. There. Or just working. Can you see that? Yep.
Yep.
It's strange doing this here because you feel like there's no one around. You know, you don't know if you're still just drawing it in with this. This is actually quite fun using this. I prefer it to a pencil actually, but at least you can see what I'm drawing in. Whereas a pencil, it's just not showing up. Nice little dome on there. And then once all these lines have to come to that point. See, that's what you call your vanishing point. See there? Yeah. And then we'll just move along a bit there. Sometimes I do that. In a street scene, don't have your lines going too long. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you just get a row of shops or a row of buildings. So you come out here and then go horizontal and go down, because anything facing us is always horizontal. Oh dear. Anyway, same. And then we've got this big thing in the middle. We can go right in the middle. Are people painting today? They're all painting along with me, or?
Oh, they are, yes.
Oh, good. See, and this one comes right to there. It's nice having that big building and it coming in there. And once again, everything there, all these lines must come to that point there. See? And then we've also got, and then the other ones go this way, because the building comes to a V, to almost a triangle, I'd say. See another one there, which makes it more interesting. Because, and then we won't have too much of, actually, I better blow it up to see what's happening to it. So,
that's actually working really well for us. We can see that pretty well. And I don't know whether you can see now, there is a whole load of us here. I've got about 15 people coming in from home on Zoom, but they've all been muted, which is why it's quiet.
Oh, good. Yeah. Oh, good.
But if you want some noise, we can certainly make it.
How's it going in Perth? It's certainly must be a lot more exciting than being in Melbourne at the moment.
I'm afraid it is. Yes, it's pretty good. Yeah, we're pretty much normal here, I'm afraid.
Oh yeah, look, I've never been worried about it, but everyone in Melbourne is totally depressed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Really in a bad way. It's just disgusting what's happening here. And I'm not depressed because I make sure I'm not. I make sure when I wake up in the morning, I say to myself, I'm going to do another painting. So every day I do a painting. You know,
we could almost say we're almost envious of you, because I think if we were locked up, we'd be doing the same thing as well, which is great. We just get distracted by other things.
Yeah, look, it's really hard now. Not for me, but for some reason, everyone is mortally depressed, you know, just in a bad way. And I think that's why we're starting to get a lot of riots and that sort of happening, because it's been going on for over a year now. But, you know, but I'm lucky. I mean, I'm not lucky in a lot of ways because I own a couple of gyms with my son and they've been closed, and every week, you know, we have to. But the good thing is I just paint every day. And this is the wonderful thing about art.
Yes,
no one can ever stop you from painting. You can always get materials. Well, you can't anymore in Melbourne. I can't but you can always find something to draw with, you know, a bit of charcoal, a bit of a brush, and if you don't, black and white, whatever you can find. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So this is a wonderful thing about art. You know, we can always do it. So here's some cars in there, just drawing in cars. I'm finding it very hard to see the screen because, as you can see, my screen's tiny. You know what I mean? But that's all right.
Oh, it's looking good.
Look, we'll just have to persevere with it and just see and keep moving the screen, but and keep it very, very impressionistic.
Tell you what would we do without Zoom? I mean, gee, this has opened up our lives. It's brilliant.
Well, it's good in a sense, like in America, I probably won't travel to America again because a lot of the workshops have all stopped in America. The Americans are very scared of what's happening, you know what I mean? And so Zoom is great for people overseas, particularly in winter when it's cold, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, they can't get out in lots of America and Canada, so they can do a Zoom at home, you know what I mean? So there's the basic drawing, kept the drawing, haven't worried about the people because that will be the next stage. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do my, is it all right if I, sorry, I'll try and talk to you so you can see me. Yeah, is it all right if I do my first wash? Do you mind if I do my first wash?
No, wait, Herman.
Okay, this should all, look, what I might do is, yeah, I won't dry, it's almost dry, so that's fine. I'll leave this one up
Herman.
here. Yes.
Hey, Herman.
Yes.
It's Cass. It's Cass.
Hi, Cass.
I was just wondering, on the left, where you've got all the, what are you actually drawing in on the left there? Because we can't.
That side.
Yeah, in that area. What?
More buildings, I'm afraid.
More
it's
buildings.
very difficult. Yeah, my problem is there. This is a bit weird here. This is a bit weird. What's happening here? There's a center strip with some weird stuff. So if anything's really weird, see, with a street scene, I've worked out you can only paint probably 20 to 40% of the street scene. A lot of the stuff you just can't sort of paint because it's weird. You know, it's either too small to see what's happening or it's just really weird. So what you do is we just keep it very loose and rely on dry brush, you see. So at this stage, I don't know what I'm doing. I think we'll just go for dry brush, but what I think I will do is just put in some very pale washes. Just start off with pale washes to start with. And now the other thing is we don't need a sky. A sky's, in most subjects, ruin a street scene. If we do put a sky in, we'll put it in at the very end of the painting. We're much better off having a white sky, having nothing, having absolutely nothing. So we'll start in just pale. How does that come up on the screen? Yep, sort of a burnt sienna. Look, like I said, don't worry about color. Just think warm or cool. Actually, I'll just take this, just very pale there. Not committing to anything, then maybe I'll get another brush only because maybe in the middle here, we'll just put in some brighter colors. Just, I don't know, we could probably just a bit of bright. I hope I don't get too many runs because, but that's okay. We'll see how we go. A bit of bright color there, just a bit to give it a bit of brightness, not much, just a bit there. And then we'll continue with the burnt sienna there. I like using the hake in the first wash because it sort of, it gives me a bit of a rough edge like that, In the first wash, I never go too dark. I would never go above a number 3 in tone. If that makes sense. What do you figure? like not sort of committing, just putting something down. Yeah, just something down. And then, well, what I'm going to do now is.
Can you give the others time to catch up? Just a couple of seconds to catch up.
Well, it won't matter. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why it matter. I've got to keep going. I can't stop because all the wash should all be dry together, you see.
All right.
So I have to keep going. So it won't matter so long as I stop. So long as I stop at this stage, right? Yep. So I've got to stop at this stage. It's important. It's important in watercolor to work in stages. I work generally in 2 stages. And then here, we've got the bottom here. And so just bear with me. And I've got to put the pedestrian crossing in now. And once again, same thing happening. Sort of a bluey, look, I won't say blue, but a colder colour for the asphalt. See how the perspective lines go to that point? There we go. Their pedestrian crossings are a little bit different than ours, and then I leave that, and then I put the people on top. So that's basically my first wash, if that makes sense. So yes. Very neutral colours, warm neutral colours. There I've gone a little bit brighter, because I think I better look at the photo. I might put some bright, there'll be a bit of bright colours in the shop windows. Left the white windows for the car, thanks to Joseph. And we're really lucky because most of the time the windows aren't white. But if you look carefully at this one, can you see that photo? There's a white window. So basically put a few cars in, just rough. Won't worry about the sky. We may put a sky in, but sometimes I reckon we're better off without a sky. They've got to be fairly even. They look a bit funny there, but they are in real life, they're a bit even. So make sure the perspective lines go to that point there, okay? Now, there's nothing else I can tell you. There's a bit of dry brush here. It's just accidental dry brush. It's always, the only thing that I did on purpose was leave the white for the windows and the white for the pedestrian crossings. All these white bits are just accidental. It's just what happened, all right? So what I'll do is I'll give you 10 minutes. Is that all right? 10 minutes, 15 minutes to get to this stage. And then after we've done this stage, we'll do the next stage.
Sounds good. So for those at home, if you've got any questions, type it in on your chat line and Herman can see them or we'll pass them on to him. Is that okay with you, Herman?
Absolutely. Yep.
Silence.
Yeah, so at the moment, all we're worried about is leaving the pedestrian, and a lot of that pedestrian crossing will go because we're going to have people walking over it. And yeah, so just a bit of colour. Yep. I'm using Saunders 180 gram because I've run out of 300 gram paper. I've got lots of 180 gram. And because we can't get any paper at the moment, all the art shops are closed and online I couldn't get it. So it doesn't really matter. So I don't mind using the 180 gram. It's 180 gram rough. But what I possibly will do with the next stage, I'll wet the back and stick it on this Perspex. But yeah, so at this stage, just do this stage. Don't go too dark. Just neutral, warm colours. Really doesn't matter. I could have thrown in a bit of Viridian, would have been interesting. I forgot. And sort of a more colder, bluey colour for the bitumen, for the road. Good luck. I'll leave everyone. I reckon I've got to give you 15 minutes. Is that all right? 15 or 20 minutes? Is that okay?
Is that okay, guys? Yeah.
That should be heaps.
Yep, I think it definitely will. Go get yourself a coffee.
Well, yeah, I can keep talking, but there's not much I can say at the moment. All right. Okay.
Is everything going all right for everyone at home? No, everybody's being very quiet, very good. Is he painting? For those of you who are new to Zoom, at the bottom of your screen, there's a thing that says chat, and you could click on that, and then you can type in your questions and comments. Nice ones, please. It's quiet in here, isn't it?
This one, all we have to worry about is, all we have to worry about is don't go too dark and get that perspective. Everything comes roughly to that point there. That's so important. See all the lines?
Yes.
But particularly on the pedestrian crossing, it's got to come to that, roughly that point there. It's called a vanishing point, but it also becomes our focal point.
You're still listening, Herman. Big fan of yours has just arrived. Gillian Peebles. Oh, he's gone.
Life, then I normally walk past people, but I think they prefer me not to say nothing.
I thought you were there earlier on. We've just had one of your greatest fans arrived here. To watch the demo, Gillian Peebles.
Oh, hi, Gillian. How you going?
She's getting a coffee at the moment, but she's here.
Thank you.
Anyway, yes, go for it.
What I might do, if it's all right, can you see? I might just put it a bit higher, just a fraction higher, and see what that comes up. Sorry, got to keep it straight, vertically. Yeah, put it a bit higher. Can still see that all right? Yep. Yep. That's about as good as I can get it. And notice I'm getting some buckles, so I'll wet it and stick it down to the back of to the perspex.
Just onto the screen.
Good morning, Mr. Pekel. I see you're not using your credit card.
Yeah.
Hello, Herman. It's Gillian.
Hi, Gillian. How are you going?
I'm doing very well. I see you're not using your credit card.
I might. At
You've
the
actually
very
got
end.
a brush.
I've got a credit card, but I might use it at the very end in the dark area to scrape out that bright yellow.
Yeah, well, it's amazing giving somebody first place when they've done it all with a credit card.
Well, that was by accident. I started using the credit card. It was because I did a demonstration years ago, and I had no brushes, and so I was a bit embarrassed. So I just used my credit cards, and that's how that all started, purely by accident.
Well, I know you did it in 2003 when I gave you first prize.
A long time ago, unbelievable. It was another world, wasn't it?
Well, it certainly was. And thank you for the amazing job you're doing in sharing your knowledge. You're amazing.
Look, I enjoy a bit. It's been so long since I've done any teaching. Like Melbourne's virtually been in lockdown. I don't know what it's like now. We've been in lockdown for so long that, yeah, it's amazing.
Yes, we're very sad that you couldn't come west.
Yeah, it
We
would have
look
been
forward
great.
to the day when you can.
Wow, yeah. Maybe one day, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, my friend.
Good on you, Jill. Good on you. Great to talk to you.
Back to the job.
Actually.
No. The next bit, Herman, if you're still there.
How's everyone going?
Next bit. Yep, they've all got the washes on. Yep.
All ready to go.
All ready to go.
All right. Well, here we go. Now, what I'll do is I'll take this off. I will saturate. Yeah, it's dry. Remember, yeah, it's dry enough. At this stage, I believe in working in stages, so it has to be perfectly dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to saturate the back of it.
Have you ever met Mark Fromm, Herman? You heard of Mark Fromm?
Hope this works. Saturate the back and stick it down if it works. See, that way you can use very thin, cheap paper, like, like 180 gram paper, and it's, and you don't get any buckles, I hope.
Have you ever come across Mark Folly, the French watercolorist?
I know his work. Yeah, I know I've never met him, but I know his work.
He does that, but what he does is he uses a thin mixture of wallpaper paste, and he actually pastes his paper onto his piece of perspex, and by the time he's finished his painting after a couple of hours, it's hardened and comes off the board naturally, and it stops all that buckling as well.
Really? Oh, that's a good idea. Wallpaper paste, and it sticks to this. Yeah. See, it sticks down pretty well. You got a few buckles, but look, you can see a couple there, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And also, it's nice to work on a dampish surface, if that makes any sense. There's something nice about it, So there's only that one. If I can even get some. There we are. Get my phone case. There we are. Perfect. No buckles at all. So you don't have to buy 300 gram paper. Oh, that's it. Perfectly smooth. All right. Well, now we did the easy part. Now we've got to start being serious now, because what do we do? I don't know. This is the tough part. And it doesn't matter where I was. Look, I might start there. Why? There's no reason for it. Just because it's somewhere to start. So we can start anywhere. It doesn't matter at all. So I've got blue, a lot of ultra, maybe some of this other color there, neutral sort of bluey color, because it's all just neutral colors. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at this building here. With this, so important to just go really, really slow. I just wish I had a bigger thing to paint from. I often used to get terribly, not angry, but I used to get a bit upset at students. They used to paint from their mobile phones, and you can never see what they're doing because it's so small. Now I'm doing it. I'm just guessing most of the time. Bit of a warm color, but we just take our time, get that lovely dome up the top, which is a sort of a goldy color. Put a bit of
Herman,
yes.
can I just ask you, if some people have taped their paper down and they can't spray the back, what can they just give it a light spray on the front, or what?
No, that won't work. It'll run it. No, you don't have to do it. Look, the bottom line is everyone seems to tape their paper down, right? Now that started with Joseph years ago, right? And the reason that Joseph did that was because you're not supposed to tape it down. It's just, and the reason you're not is because you get buckles, right? You get buckles in the paper because paper expands, and when it gets wet, it's taped down. It has nowhere to go, so it can only go up. However, look, but it depends on the paper. But the reason I think Joseph did it years ago, because when he pulled the tape off around the edges, the painting looked really good, so he could sell the demo, so people could buy the demos. And it's always a good trick, because the moment you get a white edge around it, the painting looks a lot better, you see? So that's the reason that all started. Do you know what I mean? But it's not the traditional way of doing it. What the traditional way of doing it was, they used to soak the paper in a bath. That's what you're supposed to do. Soak it in a bath and then staple it, or whatever you want to do, or tape it with special tape that's that you need to wet to stick. They used to use that. That was the way initially the way of doing it. This taping it down, look, it does, and Joe's very clever. He can work with the buckles, but sometimes you get a lot of buckles that way, you know, yeah. So that's the reason behind that.
So having taped it down already, we
Don't
just
worry
got to.
about it. Just keep going.
Okay.
The only reason I do it because I've got thin paper. I've got thin paper
Okay.
and
But
thin
also,
paper buckles. By taping
Doesn't
it down.
doesn't it also change what's happening on the front when you, you know?
No, because if you wet the back, it doesn't affect the front.
Okay.
However, it's nice to work on. I can't explain it. It just feels nice and cold. See, the best watercolor is always done in cold weather. That's why I admire someone like Albert Namatjira, because I've done a workshop in the desert and I never realized how good he was as a watercolorist until I actually went into the desert and tried to do washes in the desert where it dries within, 10 seconds. Look, the longer it takes for a wash to dry, the more beautiful the wash. You know what I mean? The more beautiful it is. Thanks. The quicker it dries, when washes dry really quickly, they get a real ugly look to them. I don't know if that makes any sense. The longer it takes, the much more beautiful it is. So just keeping it, and maybe even, hang on, what else have I got? And then get just splash a bit of water on it. Just water it like that. And we'll just keep coming forward. But if it's already taped, don't worry, it's fine. Leaving the little windows. See? Once again. For street scenes, this brush is so handy because it's perfectly square. You know what I mean? They're lovely and square. So mops are useless for street scenes. When I say they're useless, I would never advise students to do a street scene with a mop because all their buildings are always out of square and they're all over the place. But the moment you get a lovely, cheap little nylon brush like that, you get a lovely square edge on the buildings. Do with another brush. What other brush do I have? It feels really strange painting without any students. It feels like I'm here talking to myself. Oh. And I thought this would happen. You tend to get runs when you paint vertically. So I have to, yeah. Just throwing in some darks.
As a request, Herman, can you stick up a bit of tape on the right-hand side of your board? Excellent, thank you.
Good idea. I didn't notice it. it's very hard not to cast shadows, but I think it's not too bad. I couldn't get rid of when I was gonna paint it flat. So see, just what I love about wetting it, it just stays wet for so long, and I just love that. That, you know, it's really nice to work on. So just coming in, putting interesting strokes in, then I'm sort of painting it out of my head. And every time I'm a little bit lost, I try to go to my phone and see what I can find. Want to get rid of that here. Keeping it simple. I think my theory on watercolor is it's either the easiest medium, or it's the hardest medium. And the reason I think it can be the easiest medium, which I think it is in a way, if you let watercolor be watercolor, if that makes sense. So in other words, let it do what it wants to do. Don't muck around. In other words, don't try too hard. I think people just try too hard. Just keeping it there. What's the top of that building? Oh. A couple of those things. Yeah. I'm not being too literal, and the only reason I'm not because I can't really see what I'm doing. I'm just sort of looking at my phone, and it's also such a confusing subject when it's so small, but which is good in a way. When I do windows, go vertical like this. Just like that. That'll almost do. Look, honestly, half the time, the less you do, the better. If you want a credit card, I'll see if I've got a credit card. No, I might have to use my oil painting credit card. No, that's gone too. Oh, well, if I haven't got a credit card, I'll use a fingernail to scratch back there, but that's okay. So we're just going to keep going. Is that all right? Is everyone right? Does that make sense? Can I keep going? Okay.
Yes, please.
So keep going. Yeah. Once again, I keep saying this, a square brushed in street scenes. I never use this for landscapes, but for street scenes, this brush is your best friend you can have. A cheap 1 inch, what is it? 1 inch soft nylon brush. It's just great. Like one stroke gives you a car. Like that. It's a 1970s car, but that doesn't matter. And it's good as cars becoming square again. So that's really good for artists. Makes it so easy to paint. Come on. It's always difficult where the road meets the buildings. Can you see there? Your best bet is don't commit. Just dry brush like that. Don't ever have a hard edge. There we are. Can I keep going? Susan? Hello? I'll keep going. Okay, I'll keep going, will I? Yep, okay. I don't know if anyone can hear me, but anyhow, what I'll do is I'll do that lovely dark underneath. There was actually a veranda, which is underneath here, just here. Really nice and rich, see? As dark as I can get it, whatever dark, any warm dark's good, you know? Okay. Just working my way along. I might even use this brush, my little called a dagger liner. See this one? Just use this one along. Maybe, I don't know why, just some nice verticals. It's always, look at this one, great for me. What's happening here? Something interesting, but I don't know. I can't work out what it is. Some stairs or something. There it is. Not too much of this. Never use the one brush for too long. Put it away. Just use it for a bit, and then I'll start off with this major building in the front. I love this building. Sort of like got a bit of a bubble there. Can you see that? A little bubble which I have to paint over, but that's all right. If it was flat, I wouldn't be getting these bubbles. So there we go. Maybe go back to sort of quite a bit of raw sienna in this building. It's a sort of grey. Yeah. Might just do one stroke. Just excuse me a sec. These bumps are sort of worrying me a bit, so I'll just re-wet it. Yeah, that's it. So here we go. Always be loose. With street scenes, you have to be loose. When you're tight, it just doesn't work. I'm just wondering, is that coming up clear for you on the camera or not? Or is it a bit fuzzy?
Okay. No,
it's okay.
Yeah, looking good. Looking
It
really
looks
good.
a bit fuzzy on my iPad, so I hope it's coming up all right. Yeah, that's the only thing. It's okay. I'll just keep going.
Oh, it's good. All good.
You guys are so easy going. I've done a Zoom with Americans, and they are so fussy. If you don't have the latest equipment and it's not perfect and there's a slight shadow, they go crazy at you. So you guys, I was really worried. So you guys are nice and easy to deal with.
Oh, well. Okay, you've done well. I mean, it's nice. It's not on the camera, your iPad in place.
See, I've gone nice and dark in the middle there to lead your eye into that point there. And I love it because it's still wet. The only thing is I just have to keep an eye on that I don't end up with too many runs. So you've got to run there, but that's all. And because I'm vertical, I'm probably working fairly dry. So, you know, yeah. I'm almost as dark as Alvaro Castanet there.
Oh, is that possible?
There's just. And I'll keep going. And then I want to sort of lose these windows. Actually, I reckon I can do full sheets from now on. Now that I'm vertical, I couldn't. Yeah, I might. Next one we might do. I'll do a full sheet. There. Just keep working along. In a way, it's good that I can't see what I'm painting because there's so much stuff there. Look, I'll show you on the camera. See all that stuff there?
Yeah.
I've blown it up. You just can't paint that. And if you try and paint it, you know, it's not going to work. And that's the thing. It won't work because it's right in the distance there. This is what's great about watercolors. No other medium suggests like watercolor. If you paint that in an oil, it's so much harder because you've actually got to paint it. Here, I can just dry brush it. A little bit darker under the wheels, you know, under the car there. Maybe just suggest a couple of wheels. And I'll try and avoid having a wet road. Like when I do street scenes, I try and avoid wet roads unless I get really desperate. If it's not working, then I'll turn it into a wet road. But I really try and avoid it if I can. Here we go. Then see these buildings in the back on the far left. Cass asked me, what are they going to be? Well, if I look at them, I'm just going to go single stroke. See, vertical. I'm thinking just vertical. Gee, it's been so long since I've done a watercolor. I reckon it's been about a year since I've done a watercolor. Just dry brush. Tell you what, I'd be lost without dry brush. I don't think I'd be able to paint. A person that uses dry brush really well is, in fact, most of his work is dry brush, is a guy in England called John Yardley. He uses a lot of dry brush.
Sorry, what was his name again?
John Yardley.
John.
Yardley, I think it is, something like that. He's painting like this. It means you can do plein air outside so easy because it's all suggested. Now, we'll just keep going a little bit longer. Is that all right?
Yeah, very good.
throwing in a bit of dry brush just to give it a bit of texture on the road, because we're going to start putting the people in soon. Maybe a bit more work on that big building. How's everyone going? Are you all right? Still there?
Everyone at home okay? Yep. Sounds like it. No
We're
chats. No.
okay. Okay. So when I talk, everyone can hear me, can they?
Yep, we can all hear you.
So they can all hear me. Okay. So it's not.
Yep, they're all saying, all those at home are coming in saying, yeah, they're all going great. They're all good. Thank you.
Oh, good. I was just a bit worried.
That's looking good.
Just might. I'm going to look for. Excuse me. I'm going to look for a credit card. Can you believe it? I've normally got half a dozen credit cards and I can't find one.
Maybe it's
Well, the
drawn out.
alternative to a credit card is one of these shapers. Can you see that? It's a rubbish. I think that might work. Let's see. Not as good as a credit card. Sort of works, see? So that's just to throw in a few windows. All right. Well, just what I'm going to do while I'm waiting, it's a bit boring down there. So I'm going to throw in a wash over the pedestrian crossing, but only, I'll show you, just get some water. Just
Can I
imagine.
just,
Yes.
sorry, can I just go back to when you used that thingy to lift out the windows? The question is the paint still fairly damp when you do that?
Oh, it has to be wet. Yeah, it
Has to
only
be wet.
works when the paint is thick, it's dark, and
Yep.
it's still reasonably wet.
Thank you.
So we just wet that a bit. Yeah, and then what we'll do is we're going to darken the foreground a bit with a nice bluey colour. Let's see. Just to make it, I don't know, just something to do. There we are. Make it a bit darker down below. So, yeah, just see I put a bit of a wash there. Maybe a bit more ultra.
Herman, around.
So just a bit. See, can you see that? And then what we're going to do now is basically, I'm not going to do much more there. I don't think I need to. Probably will. I might just lose those windows a bit with my finger. I might throw in some windows when that's dry, okay? When that's dry. Yeah, so I'm going to let that dry. In fact, I might dry it artificially. See what happens. This is a heat gun. I always use a heat gun for drying watercolours. So be very careful with a heat gun, because if you're not careful, I've burnt the paper. I've burnt a few paintings.
You won't be able to hear when he's got that microphone.
Herman, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I've just done a walk around and you've got some very enthusiastic fellows here.
Oh, good. Good.
No, they're all going very well.
So I'm
Keep
just-
up the good work.
Ah, thanks. Thank you. So thanks. I'm just drawing that. It's good enough. Good enough. So just draw that. And then I guess we can start. Is everyone getting left behind? Do you need some more time? Look, what I think might be a good idea, I'll face the iPad a bit better so you can see. Can you see that better?
Oh,
There we go. What I might do is, can I give you 5 minutes to come to get to this stage? Hello?
5 minutes is good, please. Yep.
Get to this stage. Notice, not the only hard edge is maybe there. Rough edges. Look at this. All rough edges. Just suggesting the windows, leaving a bit of that bright yellow in the middle, so something to look at. I've only left 3 cars, and so basically the way I look at it, this is like a theatre set. This is our theatre set. Our next stage will be the actors, and the actors will be the pedestrians crossing the road. So yeah, so we'll get to the stage, keep it all, see, that's just single strokes using dry brush with the paper. Okay, keep going.
Yeah.
A few minutes. I reckon, what's it now? It's, what's it, 11:30? It's 11, is it 11:30 where you are?
11:20.
So maybe another, oh, okay, here we are. Make sure I got the right time. Yeah, okay. I think I'll give you another 10 minutes to finish that, and then we'll do the people. Is that all right?
Sounds excellent.
Yeah, 10 minutes should be enough.
Is that okay with everyone at home? I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, just that, but remember, no rough edges. See, there's not, no, sorry, no hard edges. Just keep it rough, dry brush. This is 70% dry brush, you know, just suggesting, and don't keep you, see, with the windows, miss some. Don't go, you know, having copy it exactly. Just suggest a few windows. Okay. Paint. We'll just move around. Oh, too much. Hang on. This is not actually. Yeah. Might move it forward. How's that? Yep, that's okay. Okay. Well, what we're going to do next is I'm going to do something unusual. I'm going to Google people walking, and then go on images, and you'll be able to see. I often do this. See lots of people walking. Much easier. And hang on, we'll just go on the images. Have I found any yet? There we go. Look at all these people walking. Oh, sorry. Can you see that? Or, and what I'm trying to say is sometimes that's not a bad idea to copy them. You know what I mean? Or you've got the black and white ones. Sometimes you get the black and white ones. Hang on. Oh, there we go. Look at that. See that? because sometimes when you take the photo, they don't look quite right. So does that make sense? So what we're going to do is, before I actually ruin my painting, what I might do is I might get a spare old bit of paper, and put some, just have a go at some figures, because we've got plenty of time before, so we'll, oh, just no, I've got to, find a, an old bit of paper there. And what brush will I use? Maybe this one. Is that all right? And we'll have a go at just doing some people. Doesn't matter what color. Oh, I've lost him. Oh dear. Just bear with me. Oh, perfect. There we go. So, like that. One stroke. The shoe. Can you see? Sorry, I'm in your way. Oh. Another one. Body. Bit of a hand. That's easy. Which other one can we copy? There he is. A lady with a mini skirt. Leg. High heels. One stroke for the skirt. See, figures, so easy. So what we're going to do is, see the ones I've copied? I've just Googled them under people walking. So it makes it so easy, for you to find figures that, that are actually walking. Because if you look at the actual photograph, the figures aren't that good, to copy. So that's why I've chosen, So here we go. Are we ready to go?
Sure are.
So we'll just what I do is I tend to make my figures really dark, and then I put lighter clothes on them when it's dry. I use a bit of gouache blue or a bit of gouache color, sort of not really opaque, just to lighten them up a bit. So, oh, hang on. I'm just sort of got to, so you can see where I'm. Can you see? Yeah. Sorry, I have to go on that angle to. Okay. Actually, just bear with me. Oh, no, I can't do it. It's a bit low, but that's all right. Okay, first of all, let's have a look at the actual. Well, the heads are quite low, but I reckon if we put the heads about just below the cars, and the reason the heads are low is because when I took this photo, I think I was in a double-decker bus. So I was probably 3-4 meters up in the 3 meters up. But see, it's very hard copying these photos because then, as you can see in the photo, even though it's a good photo, the people walking aren't as good as the ones that you actually Google, if that makes sense. So we'll just throw in. Okay, here we go. Where do we start? We'll start with the legs. I'm a bit nervous because this can stuff up the painting. It's so important that we get these figures. She's got high heels. Made her awfully skinny. We'll make her legs a bit bigger. But don't worry too much. And then lose her a bit. Okay, there's one. So we've got to find another one. We'll find a man. You've got to be careful when you do these figures. This is why this is good. A lot of watercolorists do figures and they do the same thing. They do like men, just men in suits. So you've got to vary them a bit, you know, women, men, children, whatever.
Yes, yes, very good.
And vary the heights. And the legs are there, but they're not there. Does that make sense? They're dry brush. Dry brush the legs. Don't, the moment you become too literal and too hard-edged in a watercolor, it probably doesn't come up that well, but I've just suggested the legs. Okay, so there's that one. We'll find someone else crossing a road. There's all sorts of people. Yeah. There's another one, not walking quite as much. So I've picked a neutral colour. Has anyone got any questions? You surely must have some questions. Okay, well, that's all right. I don't mind. Oh, I've ruined that one. Then we might have some smaller ones in the distance. Good. We have someone going the other way. The smaller one. See how his legs are further back? So they're not all the same size. Yeah. It's all about, you know, varying them a bit. Varying there. Which other ones? I'm just... There. We'll leave a bit of a gap in the middle so they're not all connected to each other. I think we'll have one. I want one going the other way. This guy looks good. Let's see. I'm just trying to pick one. Yeah, so this guy looks good. His head. There. There. Maybe you could do it for briefcase. We'll give them a bit of a briefcase there, like that. So there, 1, 2, 3. Few more. Hope you're not getting too bored. Few more figures. Maybe just suggest one there. Maybe some jaywalkers in the background, just some. There's. It's all about the power of suggestion rather than being literal. The fact is you only have to do one good figure and you're halfway there. I think we can leave that empty. We don't want any more there. I might now go back to the actual photo and see what's there. Oh, well, there's a big truck there, which I could have put in, but I didn't. So what can I put there? Maybe nothing, you know. So just bear with me. I'll keep going. Just maybe I notice there's a lot of people in the background jaywalk. So we can put one in there. I like her best. She works well. There. And I've got to make these even darker. They're really, really got to stand out. And then we'll put some colour on them in a sec. Mainly. While I'm waiting for them to dry, I'm going to drop in some pure colour. Just look, I could see maybe a traffic light there, you know, traffic light there, comes across there. Or another thing I can do is, because I've wet the back, it's amazing. It's still wet, which is wonderful. Maybe here, let's just have a look. That's there. I wouldn't even mind a bit of dry brush there, just to back it. Dry brush it, see? Just to dark, just to give it a bit of texture. You know what I mean? See the dry brush? Just a bit of dry, a bit of dry brush over the thing. I'm getting a bit confused here. Yeah, a bit of dry brush just over there, just to connect it. What I'll do is I'll get some pure colour. And a few bits of just pure, the brightest red. I can just a few little bits. Comes up nice and bright. A couple of little bits of red on the oh, you can't see that, but I'll show it when I'm, you know, so they're just little bits of colour. I'm just waiting for the figures to dry. And then while I'm there, just wondering, I haven't got any gouache. Can I borrow some gouache of someone? So I don't have any. So the only thing I've got is a bit of white acrylic. So I'm just going to throw, I don't, it's hard to see, but you'll see I just throw in a little bit of detail. Just a little bit of light, just with a small rigger brush and a little bit of white paint on the top. See, it's a bit hard to see, but yeah. So just a little. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to dry my figures so I can put some opaque colour on. So I'm just going to put put a little bit of colour into the figures. Oh. Just a little bit, sort of like maybe a couple of the faces so they're not black. Just a bit of. Maybe her. Just a little bit sort of opaque-ish colour there. There. Maybe just a bit of that blue that I've got. She can have a blue, well, I don't know. You can have a blue top. Which is a bit hard to see, but I'll hold it up close. Blue top. There can be a blue one. I like that blue. It's rather nice. And then maybe another. Bit of blue next to that yellow would be nice. Just a bit of that. Oh. See, a bit of blue next to that yellow. There. Now, I want some of those figures to even be darker. You know, I want them to be just as dark as I can make them. Not all over, just maybe here. See there? Just parts, just maybe his suit or whatever he's wearing, just there. Maybe her. There, just a bit there. There, maybe. Just a few, yeah. There we go. Okay. Maybe her legs can be really dark. She can have really high heels on. There. Getting that. See, I didn't mention it to you, but every painting must have a reason. There must be a purpose for the painting. And the reason you paint New York is you don't paint it because of colour. You don't paint it because of texture or whatever. I reckon New York, the way I see it, it's about movement. It's about action. So I want to get the feeling of hundreds of people just walking, busy, no time for each other, just walking across the road. So does that make sense? So that's what I'm sort of trying to convey. in this painting. So we can, like, you can put as many people in as you want. It won't matter. So I might throw in another one there. Funny thing with the figures, sometimes they come up really well and others times they don't. That one came up better. Now I think wouldn't hurt to put a bit of work into that big building up the back there. See, once again, the perspective line, see how it's got to come down to there. Rather than do individual windows, I've worked this out. It looks better if you can just do even a vertical line as your window. Sometimes looks better than just doing lots of little windows. Just drop them down, or if that doesn't work, I've got my square brush again, and just go all the way down like that. Really like that. Let's have a look at the photo. The good thing with, I've never done this before, for working from the phone, is that I can't be that literal because it's so small. I can hardly see anything. So in some ways I have to see, it forces me to suggest rather than saying, gee, I've got to put those palm trees in, or I've got to put that traffic light in. Nice dark area there. I'll get a little bit of white paint, just a little bit, just suggest. I don't know if you can see that. It looks okay. Just a few little bits, won't be too long. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn this around in front of the iPad. So I'm going to turn it around so you can actually see it a bit better. Does that make sense? Maybe I can even get it closer. See if I can get it. That's about as close. The next one will be a full sheet. And look, and I'll let that dry. Do you want to have a go at doing the figures? Is that okay? Hello? Oh, have I lost everyone? You still there? Susan? Sue?
Yeah.
Oh, you're still there, Susan? I think I've lost everyone.
Sorry, it's not Susan, it's another person, Suba.
Oh,
Okay, that's why. Yes, I was muted. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yep, there's nothing worse than
Sorry.
being muted.
Yeah.
So I'm just putting that in so you can have it in front of the thing, so get an idea. And so maybe you can I can't get it closer, but if I can see.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so give you an idea. Yeah.
Okay, peoples, how about some questions for Herman? Anybody want to ask Herman any questions? Did you hear that, Herman?
No, I heard nothing. What was that?
Okay, it was Cass saying, what are we painting this afternoon?
I haven't even thought of it. I'll just think of something. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay. Anyone at home want to ask any questions?
And then I'll just get a credit card and
What was
wipe out just a few lines there, break it up.
Painting them. Question, how do you do feet? Yes, or what was it, sorry? What do you do about feet?
Don't paint them, just suggest. The only one I've got sort of painted is a girl with the high heels, right? But you don't really do the feet, just suggest them,
Yep.
sort of. Don't paint feet, just like I said, suggest them and that's about it.
Cool, thank you. Any others? Any more questions? You did such a good job of demonstrating it. Nobody wants to ask you any questions. Thank you.
Look, like I said, you just got to do it. Yeah. So
Gillian says, thank you for using the credit card. That's what she was waiting for.
Oh, really?
Wow.
And what I'll do is I'll send you a proper photo of it because it doesn't look that good on the screen. Do you know what I mean? And what I could even do, I might even darken the foreground even a bit more. Do you know what I mean? But I'll do that. I'll let everyone do the people. And what do you reckon? 2 o'clock. What time do you want to go to lunch?
Around
Hello?
about 12. Yeah, sorry, around about 12.
Well,
That's
That's
12 our time, of course. That's 2 o'clock your time.
yeah, well, what about we
Ish.
do the people? Can we do the people? Has everyone done the people, or do you want to do them now? I think you can all do the figures now. Spend 10 minutes doing the figures.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
No worries. Good. 10
Thank
minutes.
you.
See ya.
Minutes. Did you get that, Deb?
Oh, sorry. A bit hard to see. Can you still hang on? Get the right angle. Hang on.
That looks good.
What we need to do is maybe I'm going to dry the figures and I'm going to darken the foreground. I just feel the foreground's a bit boring. Has to be a bit lighter. So I'm going to darken it. So I'm just drawing it.
Good luck with that.
In blue, touch of alizarin, bit of maybe burnt sienna, and see if I can get it really dark. There
Oh,
you go.
yeah, that's good.
Is it coming up dark? Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Just to, so long as we can see the pedestrian crossing through the wash. I hope so. We'll see. I hope you don't lose. Very gentle with her. Yeah. We should see. I don't know how that's coming up on the screen. Yeah, look. So slowly, we should still see the crossing, but if we don't, I'll get a bit of tissue or whatever, and just take out a bit of the pedestrian crossing, just to highlight it a bit. Very careful. Just a bit. So it's there, but not there. You know what I mean? A bit more. Oh, here we go. Yeah, just having that dark just creates a little bit more excitement, you know, and then maybe really dark at the bottom. And then maybe come in there a little bit with your darks to highlight the crossing again. So this sort of, what it does, it brings the figures into the painting, and also, and it's just so it's, that's creates a bit more excitement, a bit more drama. You know, I don't like watercolors when they're too straightforward, if that makes any sense. It's nice to get a bit of, you know, like that. Yeah, that's better. And don't go away. Don't go away. I won't be long.
As Gillian's comment is, it makes a great balance with the sky.
Now I'm going to dry that because I don't want to. Yeah, so yeah, and maybe just one of the figures, pick your best one, maybe just one of them we can accentuate with a bit of black. Well, burnt sienna, it's the darkest, just maybe just one of the figures, your favorite one, just darken it up just in one spot. Except that one becomes your dominant one. Yeah, that's better. And now what I'll do is I'll turn that around so you get a decent look at it. Does that make sense? Can you see that? Yep. And maybe I can even bring it forward just a whisper. Normally I use Gorilla Tape, it's much better, but I'll just leave that. Can you see that all right?
Marvelous.
It gives you, the people look much better now. They're lost and found. They're sort of, you know, they're there, but they're not there. The only thing I might do, it's a little bit brown in the background. When it's dry, I might just give it a blue wash, a pale blue wash. So what do you want to do now? Do you want to keep painting or have you finished? Do you want to have lunch? Susan?
Yes, sorry. I'm just conflabbing with Cass, the boss. So
Oh, she's a-
so yes, we would like to have lunch very shortly, please.
Okay, well, yeah, keep painting. I'll leave you on, and look, what we'll do is we'll start again at just after 3 o'clock. Is that all right? My time, which will be like 1:15 your time. Is that okay?
Just after, yeah, that'd be fine. And what I think we'll do is the people at home, if you want to open up your video and you can show us what you're doing, what you've done so far, and I'll get the people here to parade in front and show what they're, if you want. If
So
you
what
want.
we'll do is after lunch, keep painting, work on it, and after lunch, I'll look at everyone's painting. Okay.
Sounds good. Sounds good. In the meantime, yeah, come on, guys. Show us your. Oh, yeah, there's a couple. Hold on.
Hang on. Oh, yep. Well, show us. Our best time is after lunch. When you're finished, I'll look at everyone's painting. Okay.
Sounds good. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Fantastic.
So you're going to disappear for an hour, are you?
Oh yeah, but I'm around if you need to talk to me. I'll just sit here and yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Okie dokie then. Thank you.
No.
Now. Touched on that.
Colour.
No, it should come in because it's been, I haven't closed it at all. Yeah, because look, it's here.
Yeah.
And why can I not get, oh, well, all right, let's try it.
Oh, hello. Oh, there goes my painting.
I
You
don't
there,
know why.
Susan?
Somewhere.
Somewhere, that's all right.
Oh, you
Doesn't
can hear
matter.
me. That's good. I'm just trying to get the full screen up, and oh, there you go. Oh dear.
I'm
Panic
just gonna give it a
There you
bit
go.
of
We're
a,
back.
you're
Sorry.
back. Just see how
We
this
are.
looks. A very pale blue, bit of blue wash. Just try a little bit. Just to get rid of that brown. I don't like that brown. It's so just
The question, they're asking what blue, Herman, what blue?
well, it's got a bit of ultramarine, maybe a cobalt. I don't have it, but it's a sort of a bluey, it's an opaque-ish blue. It appears to me to be like a bit of a cobalt. So with a bit of ultra, just to blue it in, just to unify it a bit, get rid of the, don't know why, just a little bit, but you don't, look, when paintings are at this stage, they're all different. Some need it, some don't, you know what I mean? And I'd have to look, see, it's, yeah, just a bit of blue, just to give it a bit of blue somewhere there. Yeah, just, not much. Maybe one of those windows can be blue for the car, so they're not white. A bit of blue there, just a bit. I'm just waiting for. Are you there, Susan? No.
Yeah.
Oh, Susan's there.
Yes.
Okay, almost finished. Now, what I might get you to do, Susan, I'm just doing a few bits and pieces. If people want, how many people have you got? 20, haven't you?
Well, we've got about, at the moment, we've got 11 at home and we have 15 here. In the John McGrath Pavilion.
How many have you got in the pavilion?
In the pavilion, we've got 15, I think. Is that right? Okay. Well, 13 painting, and we've got 11 people at the moment at home.
Well, okay. Now, how do we want to do this? If you can show me your paintings that you've done. Has everyone...
Probably... Sorry, I was going to say probably the easiest thing to, if we get everyone at home to open up their video and stick their painting in front of it, you should get it all on your screen.
Yeah, one at a time. And
okay,
just,
one at a time.
Yeah, you can't have them all because that'll be 13 paintings.
All right. So I shall go through one at a time and say, can you hold your painting up? Okay, so first one is B Tan. Can you hold your painting up?
I'll have a look. You right?
Yes.
Show me the painting and I'll have a look at it.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Let's allow. Are you there, B? Are you there? B
Anyway.
No, clearly not. Debbie, do you want to show us your painting? Huh? Okay. Yes, they can all hear me. How about Jenny? Oh, right. Who have we got? Somebody saying, like me, the camera is old and broken, I'm afraid. Okay, hold on a minute. Okay, so somebody's not painting. That's cool. All right. Okay, so who have we got then at home who has got a painting? Oh, I see one. Jenny. Okay, Suba, could you hold on a minute, please? And we'll get to you after Jenny, if that's okay. Thank you. Here's Jenny.
No, I can't see anything.
You can't see anything. Okie dokie.
Only myself. Yeah, you have to take me off and replace me with Jenny.
There you go.
That's better. Hold up higher, Jenny. Hi. Okay, hang on. Don't move it. Leave it for a few seconds because it's all fuzzy. Oh, move it back a bit, back a bit, back a bit. Okay. Now, there we are. Sort of, yeah, your reception's very poor. Look, it's very good. Everything is good. I'll say one thing to you. Avoid hard edges. Allow one or two hard edges in your focal point. Everything else should either be a rough edge or a wet into wet edge. Every edge is hard, okay? That's all I'll say. Rough edges, dry brush edges. And the best way to get dry brush is rough paper, okay? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, rough edges. You need every edge that I can see is hard edge. You can have one or two hard edges in street scenes, but you'll do much better with rough edges.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, rough. Keep your edges dry brush. And the best way to get dry brush is square brush, soft nylon brush on rough paper. Okay?
Wow.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Excellent, Jenny.
Next
Jenny.
one. Next one.
Okay, so if you can turn your camera off again and then we'll get Julie in. Thank you. Hold on, I'll get you in. Where's the ad spotlight? There you go.
Oh, gee, this is okay. Hang on. For some reason, it's very small. What's gone wrong here? Hang on. No, I can't blow it up. Something's wrong.
Jenny's still up.
Look, I can just see it. It's tiny. I don't know why this one is. I've lost. Yeah. Why has it gone small? Yeah. For
Hold on,
some.
it's probably- might be something I'm doing. Oh,
That's
no,
better.
didn't want that. Oh, God. There you go.
Yeah. But once again, look, it's the same thing. When you do street scenes or you do buildings, and I can see a train behind there, whatever you paint, don't avoid hard edges. The only time you're allowed hard edges, if you get it perfect, super real. You know what I mean? Unless it's super real, you've got to avoid it because, number one, it shows up all the mistakes. Do you know what I mean?
I do. Thank you. Yeah, I understand.
If you have rough edges, then it can be approximate. So once again, always let the water and the paper do the work for you, okay?
Yep, thank you.
No worries. Good.
Great, Jules. Great, Jules.
Cheers.
Gee,
All right, now get rid of Julie. Anybody else want to come in with their painting? Ah, okay, Sue Bass. Let's go for Sue Bass. Hold on. You place the spotlight. There we go.
Oh, I can see flowers.
Yeah.
I can see some lovely flowers. They're lovely. When did you do those? Hang on. What's going on here?
There you go, Sue.
Hang it up to the camera, Sue.
Yeah, I don't know how to get rid of that background thing.
Oh, don't worry.
Um,
I can just see. Oh boy, I can just see your flowers.
Look, I'll
I
go
can
away
see-
and get rid of that.
Oh dear.
Okay. Suba, do you want to come in?
Anyone?
Suba?
Yeah, I'm coming in.
Good, thank you. Let me just get you in there. There we go. No, didn't work.
Good.
Okay.
Okay. Figures are excellent, particularly the girl in the front. The figures are good. I like particularly that girl. That's great. Dry, cleaner washes. Once again, I can't see any dry brush. Can't see any of it on the screen. There might be some, but all I can see is. But the number one thing is, try not.
Come
you're
back.
allowed-
There you go.
Yeah, what you're
Okay.
allowed basically in watercolor are 2 washes and dry brush. That's enough. Any more than 2 brushes and dry brush, it tends to get muddy. So remember that 2 washes, and if that's not dark enough, then a bit of dry brush over the top. Okay.
Wash that out and get me clean, please.
Okay, thank
Sorry.
you.
Yeah, 2
We're
washes
actually
and
getting
dry
feedback.
brush. Okay.
Yeah,
Very
I got
good.
it.
But I do love that figure in the foreground. That's excellent.
Thanks.
And your yellow, if you're going to use bright colors, keep them very bright. Like that really helps if that yellow is nice and bright. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Suba. Right, anybody else at home want to come in with their painting? Subas. Oh, you got rid of your background. Well done.
Good.
Nice one.
Good. Figures are excellent. Did you Google them? Did you? Because they look great. Oh, you must
Yes.
have, because I can see the little girl. She was there.
Yes.
Excellent. Once again, I like it because it's fairly clean. The figures look good. Little bit lost with the cars. You know, in the middle distance, if you had the cars, particularly the windscreens, a bit more obvious, because why the cars are good, the white windscreens give you an excuse for something to look at, but also for a little patch of white. But apart from that, very good. It's clean. And once again, look, it's hard to tell here, but don't be scared of dry brush, okay?
Yeah, thank you.
It's good, it's clean, but really maybe in the middle distance, next time, beware of those cars. They're very important, you know. Yours are just a little bit lost, that's all. But very, very good, very good.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Now, what I'll do is I won't do too many. I'll do a few more, say 3 more, hey?
Okay, let's have 3 from the pavilion. Who would
Yeah,
like
from the pavilion, a few from the pavilion. They can all come to the...
Oh. In front of here. Let me get out the way. Right, can you see this, Herman?
Hey, you've got to turn your camera on, Suze. Turn your camera on.
Does help, doesn't it? Oh, hell's bells. Stop video. Well, it says it's on.
It is on.
There you go. Is that okay?
No.
All right.
I've got a blank screen. You can see me, but I can't see you. Yeah,
I'm so All right, hold on just a minute. Let me see what. Oh, that's probably what it is. Replace the spotlight, perhaps. There you go.
I can see you now.
There you go.
Good. Okay, you can see my dog too. She's looking, Coco. Can you see her? Okay. Yeah, the figures are interesting. You know, they're walking. Vary the figures. That's important. Once again, I think the windscreens are lost. You were in a gone. So always remember them. Keep your windscreens. So important to the cars. And once again, it's quite clean, which is good. And once again, always remember the dry brush. It looks as though from here, it's hard to tell that most of it's hard edged, okay? But it is clean. So remember, if you're going to do street scenes, those windscreens are very, very important. Otherwise, if you don't have the windscreens, they add another element to the painting. So yeah, that's all, but very good. Anyone else? Okay. Good. Yep. You could do, you've got the figures look good. You could do with maybe a few figures not in that bunch, separated. It's good that I've seen your windscreens, which is great. On the left, it's a little bit lost where that truck is. You know, in the actual photo, there's a truck. What I would do is probably wouldn't hurt to have a figure quite close to you that takes up a little bit of that yellow area on the right-hand side, okay? That's just a bit large for that painting. Okay, good, good. Here we go, more. Okay, a little bit closer, a little bit closer. Okay, good, I can see the windscreens. That looks good, that's good. Look, the only thing I'll say with most of them, I can't see a lot of dry brush. Where the dry brush looks good when you've got the buildings against the white sky. That really looks good with the dry brush. And I like your figure in the foreground. That looks great. And yeah, very good, very good. Your drawing, your perspective. With street scenes, it's so important to get some sort of perspective happening. So that's probably your worst thing is your drawing. There's no sense of perspective there at all. Everything is vertical. Okay, good. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, look. Okay, last one. Once again, figures are great. The drawing's good. The yellow truck's good. Maybe dry brush one side of it, just to make one side of the truck a little bit darker than the other. Whichever side, maybe the right-hand side, you know, the back of it could just be a little bit darker. That's all. But very good.
And that was all for the teacher would like to show you.
Oh, is that you, Cass? Is it? Excellent. Yeah, the figures look great, and figures look great. Hang on, I can't see. I didn't see all like. That looks great. The figures look great. It's it looks really good. It looks lovely. Yeah, well done. And I love the pedestrian. That looks great. Looks really great. Now, what we might do now is, I'll just put the painting up on the. Now, what I can do is, I will email you. I'll take a proper photo, and I'll email you a screenshot. That you can give everyone a screenshot of the painting. Do you know how to do that? So you can email everyone, okay?
I'm sure I can find out.